G'day, hi, and welcome. All right, his is bigger than mine. I thought we had the exact same fishing boxes, the same type, but this one's three drawer, mine's only two, so his is a little bit bigger than mine. I didn't realize that. But anyway, this is my dad's fishing box. You can see it is a disaster, a total disaster. It was a disaster before I got to it, and believe me, you know, like people, this is a disaster. It's wrong. It's just wrong. So anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna clean this. Oh my God, I remember this thing from when I was a kid. That's made out of wood. That's how old that is. That's pretty old. Uh, yeah, he's got some Williams in there. Good stockpile of Williams whitefish. Every Christmas, every whatever birthday, that's like the number one present to get him. Now here's my nice, lovely fishing box. So that I cleaned it all out. I'm gonna do some nice photographs and stuff of it too. And yeah, everything looking good. I'll do a little more. Well, I got okay light, I guess, but yeah. So I got just about everything done. I still got a few more things like bobbers and stuff, but yeah, cleaned everything really well. I mean, look how nice and shiny everything is. Still gonna probably try a few more things, but it's a little bit late in the day. It's a little after 4, so the fact that I got all these lures cleaned, I'm just kind of, and it doesn't smell like really bad anymore. Some of the stuff I'm going to get rid of anyway. But yeah, look at that. Nice and clean. Got my sputterbug right in the center. Nice showpiece. Got some spinners and lures and jigs and sinkers and there's my Williams. Got a couple of Williams in there. Some of them are a little bit older, but most of the stuff was pretty good. The Red Devils. Yeah, ever since I was a kid. Like, that's probably the first lure most kids end up with is a Red Devil because it's like it's cheap, it's well known, and here's my leeches. My leeches is nice and clean. Everything was washed in like dish soap. Then after it was washed in dish soap, it was then taken and washed and rinsed, a little bit dried, and then it was used a toothbrush. And check out this guy. Wow, this guy's pretty. Dad might have a few lures and stuff go missing in this fishing box. Say nothing. I want to try this guy just to. I'll borrow it. I'll ask him though. And that just. I don't like borrowing stuff from people because you know what Murphy does when you borrow something from somebody. But you can see how rusty that is. But anyway, yeah. So that's the after I just got the initial grunge off it with soapy water and warm water, and use a toothbrush and use a bunch of other things. You saw how you'll see in the video how I cleaned everything. Probably did more work than I necessarily had to, but it wasn't like it took me all day. And it's like, what have I got better to do when there's that much snow on the ground, right? So the next stage was after cleaning it and making it shiny, getting all the gunk off it. The next stage was to get the smell off it as much. I washed, started off, I washed the fishing box first. Then once I finished the fishing box, pretty much the smell out of it was pretty. I just use dish soap, lemony dish soap, and there's like no scent left in it. I washed everything. Everything that's going back in this box is going to get washed. Nothing goes back into this fishing tackle box until it gets washed. And then the last stage, what I did with all my lures and stuff like that, especially some of these older guys like this, they still have a bit of a smell to them, but they're not bad though. I pretty much like 10% water, 90% vinegar, and let them sit for a little bit in that. Not too long, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes for some. Some I let it sit longer, depending on how rusty the hooks are. So most of the hooks weren't that bad, but some of them need replacing. Like this one has stainless hooks on it or chromed hooks. So there's no use leaving it in the solvent or whatever you're going to use, or vinegar or whatever. And I like the idea of vinegar because it's environmentally friendly. So there's no point leaving that in for overnight or whatever and end up losing the paint or whatever, because the vinegar might be harsh on some of the paints and stuff like that. But some of the older hooks are a little bit more rusty. If they were really rusty, I mean, just if the hooks are cheap, just go buy some new hooks. And you can see I got some hooks in the weighting here. I'm going to buy a bunch of these little guys and various different sizes, little 3-prongers, and you can replace them. I've done that before, and some of them was just like, okay, well, you bust a prong or whatever, just the hook itself is rotted off. You don't want to lose the fish, so whatever. But you know, like you can see how dirty this one is. See how this one? Oh, this will be a good candidate to try. Maybe even better than this. I was going to try it with this guy with the iron. A little trick I seen there with the iron to pop the colors a bit more. You know, just use a iron on hot, not whatever. Get the colors to pop a bit more. But these guys aren't that bad. You know what I mean? Maybe this guy's starting to get a little bit foggy because they are fiberglass or plastic or whatever, and they get a little bit fogged up. But you see, like this guy here is pretty. That's a pretty dirty lure. You dirty lure. Yeah, I can bring back the shine on that. Lucky Strike Canada. But the thing is I guess it's supposed to be a mouse or something. I don't know what that's supposed to be. You just got to watch so you don't take off the paint. But yeah, that's really grungy. So I'm going to fix stuff like that. Check out this little mini fishing box lock. Good spot for it. Good spot for it. Yeah, got a whistle for... Got some more Williamses. These are like my dad's secret, is the Williams. So he's got some pretty good stuff. But these old things, a lot of time, yeah, it smells just like... It smells like a rubber. I remember years ago, I know this maybe not for kids, but they had a radio station called 54 Rock in Ottawa. And then it got called The Bear, and I don't know what it's called now. And one of the radio DJ guys, him and I know it was Darren Stevens that came up with the idea because he was a few years older than us, so we were teenagers and whatever. And he basically worked at the radio station because we went to the same high school, only a few years apart. We hit it off, so we'd always get free concert tickets and stuff. And one day we're talking about fishing, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I haven't went fishing in a long time," and stuff like that. So what do I hear on the weekend? The segment they had going is the contest was to tell if you were listening to a fishing show or a porno movie. It was just like a little clip, and you had to figure out whether you were listening. It was like, oh, come on baby, like stuff like that. It was so funny. I think he got in trouble for it, but it wasn't over the top, but it was hard to tell it. And so I called in. I said, "Yeah, Darren, it's me." I said, "I want to play." So I just pass off the phone to my friend, and he'd be like, "Oh, we got a new caller. It'd be like 5 of us waiting around the phone." So it's one of those who you get to know. So he goes, "I'll do somebody else. I'll come back to you, and then I'll do somebody else. And I'll come back to your buddy." And he knew us all anyway. So we all got it wrong. I can't remember what mine was. I think mine was a fishing show, and I said porn, and we lost I think out of 5 people like that my 5 friends, one of them got it right. And I think out of about 30 people, maybe 4 people got it right. It was really funny. It was great. Good times. But yeah, so I was asking my dad. I said, "Dad, what's your fishing box condition like?" And he says, "Pretty disastrous." So I said, "Okay, well maybe I'll clean this for him." And yeah, I guess I don't know what the heck that is. I've never seen one of these before. Is that a fish stretcher? What the hell is this thing? I don't know what it is. Okay, you grab it, you squeeze it, and then, oh man, that's going to spring. Hang on. So, okay, it's a fish carrier. Okay, I get it. So, like, every little gadget and gizmo you could possibly, I was pretty crafty that I reset that with one hand, that you could possibly imagine. And you could actually, I'm going to move this away because this smells like metal. Like, this smells really bad, and I got to do the same thing, clean all this out. These pliers, these are great, they're must-haves, but oh yeah, it just stinks of metal smell. So yeah, I'm going to keep this one away from my fishing box, but I just wanted to show you. I'll do another video on another day when I get time. But again, look at how nice and organized and how clean that is. I have a few more things to throw in there, not very much. But the main thing is it doesn't smell like rusty metal and tetanus. A fish, if you don't want to know what tetanus smells like, open up an old rusty fishing box. That's what tetanus smells like. Yes, that is a technical thing. So anyway, one more flyby of my beautiful fishing box, all nice and clean. I don't really need a fishing box much bigger than this. Now, a little tip before I go. Let's say you don't have a lot of money like me, okay? I got this fishing box for $5. Almost 90% of the stuff, 95% of the stuff in this fishing box came with this fishing box. I mean, I found this one, I bought these two, and I bought, I think, the Williams, the hooks, the jigs I bought, and maybe a few other little things that are not in here that I bought. But the rest of it all came for $5. The box and all, from a garage sale. And plus there was 2 other bags of stuff that barely fit in it that I already sold. It was like trolls. I just kept the 2 nicest trolls. The other ones were all rusted now. And I sold that fishing equipment off for $10, which basically, this was for $10, but because I knew the person, they sold it to me for $5. Go to a garage sale. It'll get you going. You might find, even if you found that for $20, it's still a great deal. I mean, look what you're getting. You know what I mean? These hooks are probably about $2-3 for the pack or whatever I got. Probably 2-3 packs. I go through a lot of 3-prongers. I don't know what a sputter bug like this would be worth new, but probably a lot of money and stuff like that. A gang troll like this, oh, that thing would be worth a fortune. You know, I mean, go price out the fishing equipment. Now, let's say you get this. Okay, it's not the best stuff ever. But then, you know, when, you know, maybe you buy a couple of lures, maybe you buy $20 of lures a year. That might be 1 Williams or 2 Williams. You know, depending on the size, like lures can get really expensive. Like these things can be anywhere from, I mean, go to a dollar store, you might get it for $2 or $3, $5. But at most places, these are like $12, $15. Like it's crazy what they're. But you can build it over time. You know what I mean? The other thing is if you get old equipment, you can refurbish the equipment, buy new hooks, and get a good deal on the equipment, and then buy a new hook. And I'll show you how to, again, clean up that. I'll do it out of this one too, and I'll try the hair dryer thing just to spruce it up. So a little tip there for you anyway. Again, it'll be a long time before I get out fishing and stuff like that. And I know my channel's kind of sporadic like that, where I show something and then you don't see nothing about it for another couple of months. I mean, like right now it's March 1st, so it'll be a long time before I can legally go catch me and murder a pike and a bass and the fish I like to catch. Muskie is going to be a priority this year. This guy will probably get a muskie. Might need something bigger. Might go buy a dedicated muskie hook. I got a couple of muskie flies. They're downstairs being dried out right now. So I got a little bit more to add to this box just to fill in the bottom here, some of the bobbers and stuff. But I want to descent all that stuff before I put it in. Some of the stuff I'm just not going to bother putting back in. I do have some sinkers to put in. You know, I'm not going to put all the bobbers back in, but just enough. There's a couple of leaders that I actually had a couple of leaders that were just kind of gerbled in the bottom there. And I'm going to clean those up, put those back in. Some of these I might get rid of, like these guys here. I do use these guys quite a bit. Never really super successful, but I got 3 different hook sizes on it. All the same spinner, or same lure, but the different hook sizes. But I might get rid of those, you know, as they get old. I mean, if I could replace those with all Williams or Williams type, like I got a Williams here. I believe that's a Williams of some sort. So I got 3 types of Williamses, so that's good. And again, these guys, I've never had great success with these guys, but I've caught a few things with them. Yeah, there we go. So that's my fishing box for now. And yeah, there we go.